Once an old man's son was a victim of alcoholism. He took all the measures to make his son wean off this habit, but failed. His family life was dysfunctional owing to this habit. One day, the old man met a friend who was a monk. He expressed how helpless he was, and he couldn't bear the pain of seeing his only son gradually ruining his life without being aware of it. The old man urged the monk to help his son get rid of this habit. The monk asked the old man to send his son to his monastery and proposed that his son would have to stay with him for a month's time. The old man agreed, but he knew it would be difficult to convince his son. It was his 70th birthday, and the son asked his father what would be that one gift that he would want this time. The old man knew this was his only chance to convince his son. He said, "I have one wish, and you promise me you will fulfill it." The son said, "Yes, of course." The old man said, "Son, you need a retreat since you have been working really hard. You should meet this monk at the monastery who is a friend, and he will help you feel better." The son hesitated initially, but then agreed just to keep his promise. Upon meeting the monk asked him to stay at the monastery for a month's time. The young man seemed really hesitant. 1 month? That's a very long time, and I can't stay that long, he said. "I'm here just for the promise I made to my father." The monk said, "Fair enough. I will help you deal with the dilemma. Let's play a game. Every day for the next 7 days, exactly at 10 p.m., I will get 2 pitchers of water, and whoever finishes the most number of times wins. If I win, you will stay at the monastery for a month, and if you win, you will leave immediately." The young man agreed to this. The first day, sharp at 10 p.m., the monk steps inside the young man's room with 2 pitchers and 2 glasses. He fills the glasses and both start drinking. After around an hour, the wise man finished his pitcher first and won. The same thing happened the second and the third day. Now the young man got really insecure. He thought if he doesn't win in the following 4 days, he would have to finish his stay at the monastery. So he decided that the next day he will not drink anything and be only on solid diet so that he could drink more. The night arrived and he kept drinking, but after a while he was tired. But determined he would leave for home, he drank as fast as possible. As the clock struck 12, he won. The monk congratulated him but said, "You took a long time to finish the drink. I was faster." All day he would be preoccupied devising ways to win. The next day the young man decided to go without food and drink so that he could finish his pitcher faster. This time the young man gulped the water really fast and finished within an hour. He knew that he had to win the last 2 days so that he could head home. He used the same strategy and went on fast. Finally, the young man won on the last 4 days and bid adieu to the monk. He reached home and he could see his father waiting on the porch. The same night, the father, watching from his study, sees his son walking to the kitchen as the clock struck 10 p.m. and picking a jug filled with water and 2 glasses and heading to the living room. He saw him sitting on the couch watching television and drinking glasses of water. He sat next to him. The young man subconsciously hands him a glass of water. The father looks at him and asks, "Son, do you want to play a game?" He looks at his father and tears roll down his eyes. He thanked his father for sending him to the monk, who cleverly substituted his drink with water at the habituated hour and constantly challenged him to give him the motivation to distract his urge for alcohol, and was very witty to rewire his brain into taking in a new habit. Habit is an action that we undertake consciously that becomes an unconscious, effortless act impacting the overall quality of our life. It is said our habits define our character. They gain nourishment from the mindset we nurture and the willingness we extend. This is the last piece of cigarette I'm smoking. It's never the last piece. I will get up early in the morning tomorrow. You hit the snooze and sleep longer than ever before. I'm gonna hit the gym next week, no matter what. The next week never comes. Toxic habits are like parasites which feed on our inability to deal with the rational thoughts. They are stubborn. The older they are, the stronger they get. Over a period, they strengthen the roots so much so that it becomes impossible to uproot them. In the story, the monk cleverly used few tactics to help the young man get rid of his toxic habit. Number 1, he gave him a strong reason to be motivated. Motivation wave always helps us to start something new. It doesn't stay for a long time. So he kept giving him new challenges by asking him to win over him in less time, giving him new reasons to be motivated. Number 2, he kept him busy. All the day, he would be busy finding ways to win over the monk. He helped him nurture new thoughts that helped him distract his unconscious mind to go on autopilot, because his thinking brain was now tuned to find new ways to win over the monk. Number 3, he gave him a strong reason to be committed. The young man desperately wanted to get back home. He gave his best to win. Number 4, he got better at it 1% at a time. He silently pushed water instead of a drink and helped him build a habit on the substitute. And number 5, he gave him an accountability partner who kept measuring his progress. He kept criticizing him about how late he was in finishing his picture. Start by believing it is possible. Reframe that mindset. When you hold that cigarette and say, "I'm not going to smoke again," mean it and throw it right then and there. When you have the urge, use an oral substitute like a mint or gums. Distract yourself by playing a new game or pursuing a new hobby. Stay away from the company of smokers. Ask a friend or relative to keep track of your progress. You can get over any toxic habit, and it's not hardwired. There is science behind this. Habits are embedded in the neuronal paths. Science has given us enough reasons now to believe that it is possible to rewire our brain and develop new neuronal paths. Well, the old neuronal paths did not fire up in response to an old stimuli, they often are lost. Similarly, a new neural firework is possible when you are presented with a new stimuli. Yes, you can control your habits, and all it requires is a little tweak in here, right here. Rule your habits. Don't let your habits rule you. Thank you.